Hello everyone, this is my Porsche 911 2013 Carrera 4S 991.1. I think what we're going to do with this video is we're going to go over some of the specifics that are often asked during the auction portion. We'll go ahead and do a little bit of the discussion and talk around with that. Then we'll do a cold start, drive it out, cycle the top, cycle the spoiler, and then we'll also do a driving video and a couple passes. But to start off, I'd say that this car took me quite some time to find. There's a lot of Carrera S's, a lot of Carrera 4s, but finding the Carrera 4S Cabriolet proved to be quite challenging. I actually found this in the far East Valley and was able to put together, and there's some specifics that I needed to have, much like many of you need to have when putting a car like this together. There's some options that I think are just a must. And even if you don't buy this car, what I will tell you is those certain things are pretty much needed if you ever want to sell the car. So this is a no stories car, clean title, no insurance claims, no paint work, no damages. Well, there's one damage that I'll talk about, but no damages that need to be repaired. Not an auction ring car, not back and forth. Being sold in the auction, it's a 4-owner car. And so some of the major options on this car that I'll go through that I needed to have on this car and that were kind of difficult to come together. Number one, need to have the Sport Chrono. As you know, Sport Chrono gives you the Sport Plus button, which changes the mapping and makes it a very much more exciting car to drive. And when you have the Sport Chrono, you obviously need to have the Sport exhaust as well. So this car does have Sport exhaust. It also does have the classic Sport steering wheel, which I think is very important. Not as much for the manual transmission, but when you have a PDK, it's a must-have. If you think of the Porsche 996s, where you have the toggle switches to shift gears, if you have the basic steering wheel, that's what you would get. But the classic Sport steering wheel gives you the real alloy paddles, left down, right up, much like a race car. Improves the driving experience tremendously. In addition to that, this car is MSRP in 2013 of $144,000. That's basically a Honda Civic's worth of options. Now I have those options in the listing. You'll see the documentation of that, including a reprint of the MSRP and a data sheet that shows all the options and all the option codes for this car. A couple other things that make this kind of unique that you'll see is inside is not the full carbon fiber package, but several, I think 3 carbon fiber checks. Now instead of the silver trim on the inside, we have the carbon fiber on the dash, on the console, and then on the shifter as well. It kind of makes it a really nice place to be in when you're sitting there. Secondly, full leather seats, not the leather dash, but leather seats. That's really important. Let me tell you, in an Arizona climate, the leather seats obviously look a lot better. They feel a lot better, but if you ever smell, hot vinyl, it's just not a nice place to be. So the leather seats smell great. The car smells clean. Non-smoker car. A couple of the other options: 14-way power seats, heated and cooled seats, Bose stereo, and I guess for the cherry on top, so to speak, is the wheels. Now this wasn't a must-have on my part, but I really liked them. These are the I believe Sport Classic or 20-inch Sport wheels, but they're done in satin platinum, kind of like not as much bronze as some of the other newer cars, but it's just a nice touch. It's not the silver paint or the black gloss. A nice little change from that. Secondly, what we'll talk about now is some of the service that was done on this car. What I've done with this Porsche is basically de-risk it for you. Some of the main things that were done that I think are very important is, number one, the PDK service. PDK service, along with several others that are mentioned, were all done within the last 2 weeks. And so along with the PDK service was the differential service was done as well. I'd also say a pro tip here: if you get the PDK service done, look to get the software software update as well. It makes everything more crisp. You got to remember, these were initially done and programmed with a software program from 2013. So PDK service with the software reflash, working our way back along with that service, full oil change. I did that myself. I was doing the oil change. I noticed a little bit of a crack in the oil pan, saw the problem, had to change it. So the oil pan was changed, documentation with that as well. And when I was under there, I noticed this is another weak point. You can kind of zoom in on this or just show. This is another common fail point. This is one of the coolant pipes that's under there. And oftentimes what you'll see, and you can see the dry coolant over here, and this little part, I believe, was leaking right there. Just a little weeping there, but it had to get replaced. If there's a problem with this car, it got addressed. So want you to be able to bid with confidence and know that that service was done. So a couple other things when you do a coolant pipe, the rear bumper has to come off. And a couple of those, while you're there, things that were also done were the engine filters, the engine air filters. A common thing that sometimes aren't done as often as they should be, because you have to take the bumper off. So while the bumper was off, that was done, as well as the serpentine belt. Don't need to zoom in on this, but we started to notice a little bit of cracking on the inside of the serpentine belt. So serpentine belt was done as well as a coolant flush and fill. Those things were all done within the last 2 weeks. Prior to that, I'd say probably about 2 years ago, the rear struts were replaced by the previous owner. He had noticed a little bit of a leaking on the rear struts, which is a common thing on these cars. So those were replaced as well. Approximately 2 years ago was a full brake flush. All that's fully documented. You can find that in the ad, but I wanted to go over those so you can kind of be a little bit confident as to what you'll be looking at. And then most recently, a week ago, I noticed that the tires were getting a little low. And rather than make an excuse, like I said, this is a turnkey car. And when I say turnkey, I don't want it to be a turnkey so you drive to discount tire and buy tires right when you get the car. These tires were put on. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, and they're the right tire. They're the N code tire. Now, I think it's important to know that the N code is a homologated tire done and designed with Porsche engineers and Michelin engineers specifically for a rear weight bias car such as this. So the N code refers to Porsche. BMW has their own tire with Michelin that's indicated with a star, and Mercedes has one as well, and Audi with an A, they all have their same code. So you may ask, well, what's the difference? Could be a little bit of a compound steel belting. Could I tell the difference? Absolutely not. But it's the right tire to put on the car. The Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, and they're brand new. The date codes are in there. The date code of late 2025 and 2026. So the tires are ready to go. Current probably have, I'd imagine, maybe about 40 miles on the car. A couple key things if you want to follow me back here, Larry. As we said, Carrera 4S. It's just the look that I like. I mean, it's 44 millimeters wider than the regular Carrera and a little bit more narrow than the Turbo. But the light bar that links the tail lights together, obviously now with the 991 series, they light up. It's just a really good look. A little bit wider stance. Last thing to really talk about is the fueling protocol. I'll touch on that really quick because I think it's really important. Being in Arizona, where the ambient temperature can sometimes get up to 115, 120 degrees, and inlet temperature in the intake can sometimes be 180, 190 degrees. It's important to know in Arizona we have pretty bad gas, 91 octane. So what I do in this car when it gets hot is I put in a full tank of VP Racing additive. Bumps the octane to the key 94 octane level, which allows the ECU not to pull spark back from the car. Because if you're putting regular 91 octane in with those, the ECU is designed to protect the motor and will pull spark back maybe 4 to 6 degrees, which means, in short, you're not going to be getting nearly close to the full 400 horsepower from this 3.8 liter naturally aspirated car. So in order to do that, you put that in there. Some people say they put in a gallon of 100 octane. Well, that's only gonna maybe bring it up to 91.5. Psychologically, maybe make you feel better, but you really need to get in that 94, 95 octane to increase the flash point of the fuel. I think that will conclude our video. What we'll go ahead and do now is go over some of the, well, before we go, we'll go over some of the options on the inside, then we'll do a cold start and a drive.